Tom, with Trav, you obviously have big expectations for him this year. Is it just simple to say it's because he's healthier, or have you seen him? I guess how have you seen him grow as a player?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, he's growing as a player. He's better with the ball. He's a better passer. He's even a better shooter. But if you look at his injuries, you know, he had that stomach, and he had the brain. I don't even know what you call it. You know, way too many words for me. But I mean, he missed summers. He missed the whole summer, and twice he was out with those kind of injuries that were just bizarre. And you know, and a couple times he had the concussion. He has been, knock on wood, he's been in the best shape. He's just had a hell of a spring, summer, and fall. And I mean, when you talk to him, I think you'll see it. I mean, he just knows he feels good. And I don't think any of us know what he went through. I mean, that one summer, I worried about his life, you know, and he deserves to have a great year. He's hung in there. He's really a good player, and I stuck with Keith last year when Keith was hurt, and I made that decision, but Travis was very capable of being right there too. So I think it's more than just injuries, but I think injuries have played a big part in his career.
Hey Tom, you're in the back. First of all, I think I speak for everybody when I say thanks for bringing accordion into the world of rock and roll. I think that was long overdue.
I appreciate that.
Second, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned the Sexton guys being gym rats. I'm wondering if the Sexton connection that those two guys had in high school, is it something you can see on the court right away when they're paired together? And also, is there something about bringing in kids with a championship pedigree, guys that have been to the mountaintop before and know what it takes to win and what it feels like to win?
When I get a bonus on that, I get frosting on the cake, because one of them's his dad, who was his coach. And whenever Brent struggles a little bit, I call Carlton and said, you know, what did you do? And you know, how did you handle this? And it's really been a great situation. I got a couple of coaches' sons. I got a couple of players that have won championships. And Brennan and Zell are really tight, and in a good way too, because Zell can get after him a little bit and teach him the ropes of the different levels. And Bryn pushes Zell, because Bryn shoots it as well as anybody I've had in years and years, I think. So yeah, it's been great. You know, I'd like to speed the process up a little faster, like everybody would, but it sure as hell hasn't been because of lack of work or lack of trying or anything else. And you know, I watched him in that scrimmage the other night, and I say, you know, I had one of the best two guards in the country, and maybe his real strength was his athleticism, the way he could play defense. I mean, Brink can shoot the ball, Gary could shoot the ball, but Gary was so smart and so capable of guarding anybody. And you know, we're working on that with Bryn, but Bryn might be as good or better a knockdown shooter as anybody in a long time.
Tom, over here. You mentioned a lot of guys, obviously a lot of newcomers. Do you have kind of a number in mind as far as rotation guys, how many guys you can begin regular minutes? And is that going to take me a little bit longer to figure out this year with the newer guys?
I think I'll do just like Kel's doing. I'll have two teams, play 20 minutes a game, and fight the NBA in. But you know, I think we'll be at 8 or 9. You know, maybe 10 early because of the best thing, and you don't know what's going to go on there. But I mean, definitely there's going to be more than a couple guys in that playing group, and yet I'm expecting the Trices, the Valentines, and definitely Dawson to log, you know, a lot of minutes. But if I can get those guys little rests and things like that, I think it's going to benefit us a lot. So I would be shocked if there weren't 8 or 9 guys playing a lot. Definitely 8, but it could go as high as 9 or 10.
One more in the back, Tom. Over here. Yeah. Right here. Last year at Media Day, you said Alvin Ellis does a lot of things good. We don't know what he does great yet. Today, again, you echoed that sentiment. Is that because of his lack of game experience, or is there another reason for his enigma?
Well, I've been pretty honest with all of you over the years on guys that, from Paul Davis to Sutan, to Raymond Moore. I mean, everybody doesn't love the game. You grow into loving the game. I think we just assume that everybody's a gym rat, it's the most important thing in the world. I mean, let's be real about one thing here. The most important thing in the world right now is the intravenously fed phones that attach to your arm that we tweet, text, and call on. So that's number one, get scores in a baseball game. That's number one. But
That's legit.
Legit. But I think Elvin, he never put in the extra time until about midway through the summer. And now he's getting a little bit more of the bug, and he is improving in areas. And when I say he's very solid in a lot of those areas, he is very solid in a lot of those areas. So that means with a little bit more, he's capable of starting on his team. And so I've been very pleased with the fact that for him and Schilling, they've kind of caught the Denzel, Bryn, Travis, Dawson fire. That Dawson didn't have early in his career. And some of it's growth, some of it's maturity, some of it's having some success. Playing time should be never the factor, because it's hard to get playing time if you aren't doing those things to get the playing time. So I'm not putting the cart before the horse, putting the horse before the cart. But I think he's going to work out okay. I really think that we see some positive things, and he's going to be, I think, one of the keys to this year's team.
Tom, you talk about your team not rebounding quite as well as expectation of Michigan State. And Branden Dawson increased his scoring at the end of last year. Will you depend more on Branden to be a scorer or a rebounder?
Both, because he's supposed to be a pro. He's supposed to be a great player this year. So with that being said, which I think is the truth, I'll be disappointed if he doesn't take that 15-6 and 8-3 and make it 16, 17, and 10. I mean, he's got to be a double-double guy for us. And I think he's more than capable of doing that. I really do. I think, he's done some things in the last week that, maybe I saw it in the Harvard game, and, some of those games, Michigan and Wisconsin tournament, it's just the consistency. But, like everybody says, once somebody does something once, if you can run a 4.3 40, you do it one time, somewhere you can do it again. And I think Branden just needed to spend a little more time at it. I would not underestimate the, any guy that misses freshman to sophomore year and doesn't get to practice that whole summer, it's a tough, you can look at a lot of great players, and we've gone back and done it, and it makes it harder. And so, I've made it pretty publicly known that more to his, everybody worries about the skill and making a shot, and can he shoot a three? Who cares? He averaged 16 points and almost 9 rebounds and didn't shoot one. That guy can score, he can play, he can defend anybody. He's going to be asked to do just about everything except coach the team. Maybe I'll do that.
Tom, you love guys that have fire in their gut, like Draymond and Mateen, but there were times in Branden's career where you didn't even get a chance to coach him. He was yelling about what you were missing or whatever. We didn't see that down the stretch when he came back with the hand. Have you seen that maturity continue to develop over the season where he can still have the fire but be better or more coachable?
I'll bet you Branden Dawson, and this is, he was never hard to coach, he was frustrating to coach. He wasn't a guy that gave anybody a lot of problems. He just didn't, he didn't see it the same way. When you sit out 9 games and you watch your team play down the stretch and you see a couple of losses that he knows he would have been the difference of, and then we win the Big Ten, and you really see that, I think that changed him. He has been a treat to coach this year. He doesn't do everything right all the time, and he'll never satisfy me. It's just the way that it works until he's gone, and I'll love him to to death. You know, that's the way it works at 90% of the good programs. But that kid, he gets it. If I say it once, he gets it now. If I can give him a hint, I don't have to be on him anymore, because I know that he knows we're on the same page. And whenever that happens, coaching is a lot easier. It's overrated.